This is the Khoodeelaar television channel being broadcast on the internet under the banner of Baby Angel Geronimo Manifesto editions, accompanied by the Baby Angel, Skoji kitten and her family. From 1978 till today, Monday 30th of September 2024, all the kittens that have been in the Skoji Angel's family, including the Skoji Angel, the divine Skoji baby one. Now, today is the 30th of September 2024, and today's news is marked by the parasite Keir Starmer, reportedly having changed his tack about accepting that is himself and the cabal that he fronts in the so-called Labour government following the 4th of July 2024 election in the United Kingdom. Acceptance of freebies. The creepy corrupter, Labour peer, Wahid Ali, the creepiness is not just confined the creepiness is not confined just to his expansive and extensive corruption freebies spread right across the cabal. All the members of the Keir Starmer fronted cabal have been touched with this corrupt freebies, money and all that. So the main news in the last, let's say 10 days has been dominated, as far as Starmer is concerned, by this corruption. Although it's noticeable that the media, even the Daily Mail, which has been one of the main leading attackers of the Starmer fronted corrupt cabal, has not used the word corruption. It is freebies, just in the same way that when the anti-Muslim racists and fascists like Elon Musk and Tommy Robinson et al. Spread the lies against Muslims after the massacre of the 3 children in Southport, the attackers incited against Muslims were not described as anti-Muslim racists. They were described very differently as far right. Far right never equals to anti-Muslim at all. So back with the Daily Mail and the Telegraph and the others, including Murdoch's scum, the freebies, the use of the word freebies as opposed to corruption is deliberate and intentional and is accommodating of the crooks, the corrupter and the corrupted and the corruptees. Now, the 2 commentators, one is John Smith, and the other, of course, now is Rosie Duffield, who has been the member of Parliament for the last 7 years for the constituency of Canterbury. It is Rosie Duffy's letter of resignation that condemns Starmer, but even she doesn't really use the term or the concept of corruption. So there is this absence of the truth, absence of the truthful words and phrases and concepts and terms. And all the British media, from the British media, in the British media, print, broadcast, radio, television, video, all of them are avoiding telling the truth. It's just like the judiciary and the reference I made in the last edition to the book published by the Cambridge University Press, Constitutional and Administrative Law. The Cambridge University Press says that this is the first time that they have published any book on constitutional administrative law. Again, the book, which is just under 800 pages, I think. I have to check how many pages, but it's about just, well, it's under about 800 pages. It is it is not a complete book, it's not a truthful book, and it's not a fully knowledgeable book at all. It doesn't show the full practical, real understanding and appreciation, recognition of the corruption that is embedded, inherent in the British judiciary, in the British Parliament, in the British executive. And the fact that the Daily Mail group has been boasting and calling it the memoir of the century, the collection of lies by Boris Johnson, shows that there is no traction, there is no substance. There is no traction, there is no substance, there is no truthfulness in the key leading phrases and words and slogans that they use. So there were no matter how apparently outraged these media and commentators are, there is not going to be any conclusive, definitive truthfulness or telling of the truth about the perpetrators. And there is no difference really between what the congenital liar Boris Johnson did and does and has been doing, and what Keir Starmer has been caught doing. Now, in 2011, when Starmer was still in post as the Director of Public Prosecutions, he had yet to go another 2 years before he gave up, retired from that 5 year stint at the Crown Prosecution Service. I sent a number of communications to Starmer. 2011, reporting with extremely extensive, detailed evidence of the criminals active in Tower Hamlets. I never received an acknowledgement. I never received a reply. I never received a response from Starmer, the Director of Public Prosecutions. So this is the history of Starmer, the parasite. Why is he a parasite? Because he is a parasite. Taking money from Wahid Ali, who is really bizarre, because Wahid Ali is described in such a way. Somebody mentioned Wahid Ali as fulfilling all the things that the Labour Party supposedly was for. He was gay, he was Muslim. All of these are odd combinations. Gay Muslim, I mean, he has never featured in anything, to my knowledge, absolutely anything to do with the universally, objectively defined definition of Muslim. Now, this is not a defense of the crooks in the Muslim community or Muslims who are crooks or crooks who are describable on the outside superficially as Muslims, like the currently kind of featured criminal, rapist, Al Fayed, and other criminals, like gangs of criminals right across the north of England, who had, for the best part or the longest part of the 3 decades, let's say, had been allowed to kind of exploit, sexually traffic, and sexually abuse and rape masses of girls, mainly the white girls. They raped the girls and they abused them and they exploited them, and there was no acknowledgement of all of that or any of that from any of the so called Muslim, quote, leaders. Absolutely disgraceful, outrageous that there are Muslims that operate their careers by calling themselves Muslims or calling themselves actively engaged in defending Muslims, and they have been silent. They did not register on the political Richter scale because they mentally and morally they were complicit in the violations of these children, because these are children, these have been children. These children have been violated sexually. There could be nothing more nefarious in society than and the crimes of children being raped and sexually targeted for rape and trafficked for rape, and they had been turned into prostitutes by gangs of what is described widely as Pakistani origin, English born gangs of criminals. When some of them had been belatedly tried and convicted, and the pictures published in the various media, it seems it's quite remarkable that the majority of them, or a significant number of them, were wearing beard. Now, in their communities, anyone who carries a beard or has a beard is supposedly doing this as part of the appearance of the prophet, peace be on him. Nothing could be more outrageous. These criminals wearing beards, and they were not recognized as criminals, rapists. And the news yesterday in the Sunday Times saying that the London Metropolitan Police was still investigating Fayed for his rape. The reports that the London Metropolitan Police had received from various sources, they don't name the sources as such, but that this Metropolitan Police was apparently investigating Fayed up to the time of Fayed's death. But this never came into the public domain. I didn't notice anything that Fayed was anything remotely connected with raping these women. And again, this criminal specified, defined the targets of his rape. He wanted these targets, these very young women, very young women that were recruited under the banner of the business of Harrods when he was controlling it, that there should be blonde young girls, and also that they had to be medically checked as to whether they were carrying any sexually transmittable or transmittable disease. Can you believe that? This criminal was able to do that. He was running that entire expanse, and the colluders were white doctors, women doctors. Can you believe that? And it never came on the public media. It never came. It never came that I could notice. I haven't noticed. So essentially, when Starmer announces that he will kind of implement new rules against his cabal accepting freebies, he's joking, because when he was starting, after getting admitted as a licensed law trader, this creep Keir Starmer wanted to make a name for himself as a campaigning lawyer. So what did he do? He pretended to be doing what they obscenely corruptly called pro bono, meaning that lawyers, so-called licensed law traders, help people without any financial abilities, and they help them, these so-called licensed lawyers, with their legal cases. And the most noticeable one was, of course, the libel case brought by the McDonald's, American giant McDonald's, against two campaigners who had been campaigning against the corruption in the food McDonald's produced and sold. And this creep, as a young, very young, admitted licensed law trader, Starmer pretended to be their pro bono advisor. He lied because without any explanation, he suddenly disappeared. And these two were left to fend for themselves against the giant McDonald's, which is a multi-billion, multi-billion dollar, multi-billion pound worth of company. How could they begin to contest and challenge McDonald's huge resources and hugely funded gangs of lawyers, licensed law traders? So Keir Starmer has got a record. He started off by telling lies about his pro bono status, and then abandoning and deserting these people without so much as an excuse. There was no excuse for the liar to begin to offer himself and then abandon these people. So, this is the general kind of background in the context of the news today, this week. And this is Monday, 30th of September 2024. In the context of the corrupt judiciary, the baby angel Geronimo was targeted as soon as he arrived in the United Kingdom from his place of birth, New Zealand. And he was targeted wrongly, intentionally wrongly. Intentionally wrongly, he was targeted to be murdered by the criminals who falsely demonized him and falsely accused him of carrying bovine tuberculosis, which he never did, which he never could carry. And when during 2021 there was an additional kind of spate of news around the campaign to protect baby angel Geronimo from the attackers, the depraved DEFRA, one of the people who were contacted by the so called media was Keir Starmer in opposition. And this criminal endorsed the liars of depraved effort, and he colluded with the agenda that was being pursued and fronted by the regime, fronted by the congenital liar Boris Johnson, who was in place as the so called prime minister at the time. And he said he went along. He said he supported the plot to murder the innocent baby angel Geronimo. So, therefore, with this criminal currently caught in lying and absolutely illegal behavior, there is absolutely no chance, there is no basis to found any hope or expectation that he would actually do anything significant to change the law of the United Kingdom to support innocent babies like the baby angel Geronimo or other animals at all. In the whole in the whole time that they had the concentrated multi-layered attacks on the baby angel Geronimo and his mum, British mum, Helen Macdonald in Gloucestershire, there was absolutely no mention of him. There is no statement mentioning the baby angel Geronimo, the innocent one, by the so-called charity, RSPCA. Can you believe that? It is called, grandly named RSPCA Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. There was this absolutely plain sight cruelty program on a genocidal kind of scale, on the intensity of genocide, the innocent, murdering the innocent. And RSPC was silent. We shall be continuing on all of these, updating, commentating, and adding to the evidence in due course. This broadcast has been 22 minutes, just under 23 minutes when it finishes at